Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Stewart.
Perfect.
Yes.
Welcome back, guys. What are we doing today, Sam? Oh, by the way,
Oh,
he's Sam.
he's
Commander Coffee.
Stewart, Captain Foley.
Perfect.
No promotion on site for either of us. In sight. Part 3, Stuart. What was part 1 and 2, though, for people to know what are part 3?
Part 1 was comparing Section 31 to the questionably bad Golden Age movies. Star Trek V, Nemesis, Insurrection, Generations,
TMP.
TMP, yeah. And then part 2 was yesterday, where we talked about comparing Section 31 to the JJ verse. All those movies. Trying to give Section 31 a real shot here. The worst. And today, we're delving into the land of Discovery. All the seasons. And we're going to see how Section 31 stacks up to Discovery, the series that it's a spin-off of.
Yep.
And whether it's improved.
I mean, Section 31 is a child of Discovery. They're going to be more comparable budget, not the same team, not the same creatives, not the same... So, you know, in theory, they should be the closest allegory, both in good and bad. And obviously, this thumbnail I kind of enjoyed finding, you know, Michelle Yeoh in 2017, and then this kind of does show the evolution and the age of the character. You know, she's been doing this for a while, right? So this is not
Yeah.
And then this is the season that they pitched, just, you know, Section 31 to her, and she agreed, which is why at the end of season 2, there's a Section 31 ship and a crew, and then it skews to the future thing, and they abandoned all that. But they were building into that in theory, because it's just like she has sharpened teeth and all these things, like it's there, right? So this was when it was meant to be made, and this is when it was actually made.
Indeed.
And is it fair to say there's a lot of things we're going to compare with?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna start sharing.
Go for it. All right. 20 of you here, 8 likes. Guys, hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click notification bell icon to all. I can't do it with my button. There we go. It's done up. And you don't want to miss any content from us, either lives or otherwise. So please just do those things. We appreciate that. You can also hit like. As I said, hit like is a free way. Also, make sure you vote in the polls when we're doing lives. Make sure you super chat in with your thoughts. Super chats are a great way to support the channel. Helps out immensely. I can't even think of the word now. Can't emphasize enough how important those are. Also, there is a join button down there. There's a join button on YouTube. By all means, click that and join the channel on a monthly basis, or head on over to Patreon/Trekyards. It's another way to support us on a monthly basis. We really appreciate anyone and everyone that does that, and hopefully you guys get something out of it as well. So all the ways to help us out, do it. Also, make sure you go check the links down below in the description of every video to the Teespring and the TeePublic store. Really great stuff in there, including Trekyards merch. And we want you guys to take a look, see what you think. You know, do the things. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be a walk down memory lane with Discovery, and I hope after today I don't have to talk about Section 31 ever again. Although, considering what we do here, that's not very likely. It will definitely come up again. So, anyway, welcome back, guys. Thank you for joining us. Yes, 30 of you here now, which is awesome. Hit that like button. Let's get those likes up to 20. Should be no problem at all. And we have a poll as well. Go vote in the poll. It is, what is worse, Section 31 movie or Discovery Season 1? We're going to go through the seasons and talk about them. Yep. That's the thing that we're doing right now. So, oh, look, we have 31 viewers for Section 31
Yeah.
live.
Are you saying?
There were 32.
Oh, are you saying it was a conspiracy?
For a second. For a second. You didn't hear this part when you were sharing, but I said hopefully this is the last time I have to talk about Section 31 for quite a while. But considering what we do here, I'm sure it's going to come back up quite often.
There are opinions on it.
There are.
And check out today's breakdown on the Lost Era Tricorder, because we don't, we make those things for you guys to watch. So please give it a look. See, and yes, guys, if you have your thoughts, comments, questions, and reaction to this specific question, because I really would like to know, and it helps fund the channel to do what we do here. Make the videos that aren't watched very well, but those that do enjoy them.
Yeah.
So this funds that. So keep that in mind, guys.
Yeah.
We've got one more bonus section of the video. It's 4 bonuses for you guys. 4.
And Ray Ricks chimes in with £5. Thank you so much, Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
Section 31 is basically a season arc of disco distilled into 90 minutes. Yeah, absolutely it is. And if it had been a series or season of that, it would have been painful, man. Painful.
But they would have had stuff we'd enjoy more, like the character work. So it would have benefited, but also been hugely padded. So, as we said for the last 2, because we want to find the answer, right? Now this is based on, without going through the pictures, because you don't see that stuff until we go live on this. Your thoughts, base reaction, first reaction, what is worse? Section 31 the movie, or Discovery Season 1, which of course is the first season, with the Klingon arc, the Mirror Universe arc, the Lorca arc, the Mycel arc, etc. What do you think is worse? Ironically, the two Emperor Giorgio seasons, or stories, the 2 that focus on her entirely.
I would say Section 31 is still worse, because at least there are Star Trek elements trying to be, at least in Season 1. And honestly, Season 1 has some bright spots for me. There are some characters I like. There are some moments I like. There's a lot of canon breaking and universe breaking that is painful to watch. Just Section 31 isn't quite as bad with that, because it's kind of just its own thing, and that's fine. It's a tough call, honestly. I'd probably rather watch Season 1 of Discovery, though, than Section 31 again. As awful as that sounds. But, there are things that are...
Well, and there are people that like to self-flagellate. So maybe you're one of those people.
There are some things that are so bad they're good to watch in Season 1 of Discovery. So, I don't know. That's kind of my take. Still think Section 31 is the worst out of all this. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Do you think Section 31 is worse than Season 1 of Discovery?
So to give you some context, guys, I spent a long time today. I went through every single episode of all 5 seasons of Discovery, clicked along the timeline and found stills. So I had to rewatch every single episode of Discovery for this. So I've really refresher on everything. As sort of heartbreak, yeah, and it's and you really forget how shite a lot of it is until you have to rewatch everything. And like, there's an episode in Season 2 I entirely forgot existed. It's interesting to rewatch it, like what you don't remember, and what does stick out, because Season 1 was really like big in our minds. We obviously covered that a lot, but it was a really interesting experience to rewatch everything, and it took a long, because I was trying to find the distinct moments, right? Because all these images I've got in a second are about a thing, so it's specific, and it's there's a lot to find. But you asked me which do I think is worse. I would think hands down Season 1 Discovery is much worse than Section 31, because they actually tried to do things to piss people off. They had bad characters, bad writing, bad story, bad acting. The story doesn't go where it should do. The twists are bad, they're obvious, the sets are bad, the costumes are bad, the ending's bad, the beginning's bad, the Klingons are bad, the space CG's bad. Mycel doesn't work, canon breaking, the tech's bad, they break the universe, they don't add anything. I mean, it's bad in every single way. It's worse. And from re-skimming it, it reminded me, like, it's just constant slap in the face of Season 1. Section 31 is passively not good, but Discovery is constantly slapping in the face with bad. So it's so much worse in rewatching this. And of course it's 12 times longer. It looks nicer, but if the content's terrible. So yeah, it's far worse as a bit of Star Trek medium, having really sort of skimmed it today.
For the record, I didn't rewatch or skim anything.
You had a life today.
Spared. So thank you to Sam for his dedication and hard work.
I don't want to do that again.
Super chat in for that alone.
Yeah, a few $1, thank you, be nice, because I don't want to do that again.
Everybody super chat in $1. That'd be great. Ray Ricks, £2. Since it's been a while, Hashtag justice for Lorca. Yes, for Prime Lorca. Let's see Lorca.
I almost put in this, because I went through all 5 seasons. In season 4, when we thought it was Lorca in the cell, but that's just us. We thought that was not a common complaint. So I was like, no, we can't do us specific, that'd be general things, right? All right, Stu, are you ready for the season 1 issues that are common complaints? Now, if you've been here to all 3, you've seen the amount for Star Trek sort of 5, 1. They're about sort of 6 to 9 to 12. For JJ09, there was a good 20. This is them for season 1 of Discovery. Okay, only up to there. Okay, so it's two and a bit slides worth of things. So it's actually less than 09, but that's just season 1. So, common complaints. We have the illogicalness of a lot of the writing. A la the first scene with the delta and the sand. It's just ridiculous. It's just not good writing. The alteration of canon tech for no reason. Warp is just wrong. The art design and whatnot, the Shinjo, and just Michael Burnham as a character in general, the early... the torchbearer scene makes no sense, doesn't work, it's poorly framed, it's just bad. The Klingons...
Enough said.
Yep. Michael Burnham being sister of Spock, again, commonly derided plot point. The Klingon ships, horrible. The hologram tech, don't care about canon, doesn't make sense, doesn't work, again, disrespect. The space CGI is terrible, the effects look really bad, like worse than Section 31. I mean, these are the common things people say, right? The end of the first 2 episodes where she's in a shadow trial for no reason, just really weird artist choice that just don't feel Trek. Then the entire arc of her being the prisoner, the Discovery design corridor, all the art design Discovery people don't like. The 61 badges that play no part even in the story, they're just there because abandoned plotline, no, people don't like that. The changing of characters from the initial run to the end till he's not the same character at the start. And not in an organic way, people dislike that. Stamets being abrasive, people dislike that. The unnecessary violence, the lady dying, people don't like that. The blatant fuck you to the fans, it's a D7, people don't like that. The obvious Shazad Latif is Vok, people don't like that. The holodeck that's not holodeck, people don't like that. The Vulcan terrorism, people don't like that. Everything on Pavo and Sonar in Space, people don't like that. In general, the mirror stuff is not well done. Like, that's a bit more broad, but I think in general, people are like, yeah. Giorgio being that horrible, I think, eating Kelpians, Make America Great Again, Trump parallel, people don't like that, and then holding Kronos to ransom, and as if that's a good way to end the season. So those are all the big things I think people have issues with. Have I missed anything in season 1 Discovery? It's less than 09, which I'm impressed actually. I thought it'd be more, but these are still some pretty, and they are mostly in the first couple episodes because they set the stage. But significant amount of things. What do you think?
I mean, you kind of said it with the set design and stuff, but yeah, the design of the uniforms. I mean, the uniforms on themselves aren't too bad color-wise. I don't mind that. It's just the asymmetry of them, the metal bits everywhere, the deltas everywhere. Deltas on absolutely everything that they own. The mirror stuff is, yeah. We got Captain Killy out of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Sylvia Dilly like that was great. I mean, there's some good in there. Come on now.
I'm just going for the complaint side. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. The holodecks technology just annoyed the shit out of me, even though it is just a target range. But like in his office.
No, it's in a separate room, but they call it holo, and I've watched the scene. It's like clearly they're adding in a MacGuffin of a holodeck so they can use it again. It's like it's a holodeck, guys. It's like just you not trying. Well, you are trying, but do it wrongly.
Yeah, the D7 stuff, the Klingon ships in general are just awful. Yeah, I'm glad Landry died. I don't care that it was horrific,
but it's the violence is what I was going for there.
You also forgot the swearing in it, which didn't seem appropriate.
Yeah.
Just trying to bring up things you've forgotten. So,
But I love that for this. I can just say the Pavo episode. Just the idea, the concept of that. Just that whole episode people don't like. It's funny that just certain things like just that whole concept. And endings. I mean, I know obviously the season got massively re-rained. Like it's surprising how good it is considering it got rewritten on the fly and blah blah blah. Fine, but that's irrelevant to how it ended up, right? As in, it is what it is. They shouldn't have done such a bad job. So I mean, I think like I said, so many of these issues are fundamental, universe breaking, disrespect to fans, to canon, to lore, bad choice in general, narratively. Like all of these are all just like most of these are just huge issues that reek of just go away Star Trek fans and we're doing our own thing. At least it is a consistent go away Star Trek fans, we're doing our own thing. But Section 31 at least feels consistent to itself, to a sort of a DS9 episode, kind of. Like, it's so much more in the Star Trek universe than this, in terms of, like, generality of, like, yeah. Again, rewatching is, like, so much was so despotic in this. I think if you'd made this not Trek, and the exact same storyline, this could be quite an engaging a season. You know, a mirror version of the people, and it's the, you know, take out anything Trek from it. And it's probably quite interesting, so you remove all that canon-breaking stuff.
But they were counting on the Trek viewers. You put a Star Trek name on it, you know, you've got some kind of marketability.
Mm-hmm.
But then they slap you. Yeah, they literally slap Star Trek fans in the face like every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough call.
Yeah. So I think, hands down, it's a worse season. I can't even compare the difference. Because when you have universe-breaking things, it just, you know... And obviously it starts Section 31, so you can argue the impetus behind the badges. And they didn't even use badges in the movie about Section 31, which is rather amusing. Even they admit we shouldn't use badges on covert missions. Not that's
because they realized from the comments over the years how stupid it is. Matthew DeFrieda says, I don't remember people hating Stamets. Well, Sam did. Sam hated Stamets as a character.
Oh, no.
I thought he was great.
People, it's more a symptom of problem. People just liked how abrasive he was, as are many characters. It seems he's just the example of abrasive characters, right? It's not a likable cast of characters in, again, the general fandom, right? These are non-specific. Like Garsol's great, but these are all generals, right? Like, I don't care so much about some of these things personally, but it's just what people have said, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have 41 people here, 26 likes. Hit the like button, guys, and be sure to super chat in. Also, vote on the poll. We have 30 votes currently. We'd like to get those higher. This is quite an interesting one, honestly, with the poll. So, yeah,
and as with our first live on this week, these generated discussion because of you guys. So super chat your thoughts. I'll go through this quite quickly because, yeah, the first live you really bounced back and forth, and we love that sort of conversation. So, what does Discovery do better than Section 31? But obviously, it had 12 times the budget, 13 times the run, or 6 times the run time. Obviously, it had a lot more time. What does it do better?
I'll give season 1 this. It was more ambitious than Section 31. Section 31 was one MacGuffin type deal. At least there was a few ambitious ideas in the first season. Not much better, but it was still a little bit more. It fit a season, like a series kind of style, a bit better than Section 31 would have. So thank God Section 31 was only made into a movie. But I mean, they tried to pull the wool over our eyes with Vok, but there's a few interesting things there that they tried. Were they successful? Not always, not really, but gotta give them props for having the brass balls to change the Klingons. Well, that backfired immensely.
And those people weren't fired. They continued to work on Discovery and the same people worked on Section 31 for the aliens.
Yeah.
So, but that's Brian Fuller's fault, right? Can't blame Glenn. It's Brian's fault, and he obviously was fired. But
we got more ship shots, although they're awful and ugly. At least in the first season of Discovery, they didn't really focus on ships too much in Section 31.
But had they would look nicer, given the few we got. What do you guys think? Yeah, Shuttle Bay's not open in season 1, really. Turbolift comes in later. Having the Klingons speaking Klingon subtitles was good. Yes, it was. But don't. Brian, people mention people play about the D7, or probably people have the D7 Discovery. Well, the D7 Discovery is a sect class, and it's a prison ship, but they call it a D7, which it isn't, which means someone messed up, and it canonizes this as a D7, but isn't D7, and then D7 shows up later.
They fix it in season 2, yeah.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant to this season's point. They call it a D7 for fan recognition. but it's not like, if it is, then fuck you fans, because you know what a D7 is. So that's why. It's just they writer didn't, like, the writer thought they were being clever, but it shows a lack of understanding. The writer wrote they Googled Klingon ship, they put that name in, they didn't care that it wasn't the same ship, the same class, the same look. They didn't care, and it made its way through to VO and then editing. Like, they did not care about the Trekdom to get that in, because it's the most famous Klingon ship of all time, right? You can't. Well, Bird of Prey maybe, but that's why. So it's another slap in the face, right? Which are constant in season 1. So I forgot how annoyed I was with the terrorist Vulcans. Just the way that, I mean, it's such a small element, but it's like that doesn't work. Just the way they did it, the way they made it. You know. Yeah, I know. At the end they ran out of plot. So, we'll just have L'Rell hold a bomb. I mean, she'll be assassinated next week, guys. That's not going to be enough. This is the entire Klingon Empire. Every other house wants to kill her because it's so dishonorable. My God, are you kidding? Like, not even her allies would want her dead because it's dishonorable. Like, in theory, right? It's like if Gowron put a micro bomb in everyone's neck and said, "Ah ha ha, you must all obey me, ha ha." It's like even his friends would be like, "That's not okay. That's very Romulan of him. Let's kill Gowron." Like, but she stays the whatever for a long time.
And Galen did that in the Gambit. Had a little device in everybody's necks to cause pain, and so yeah, Suicide Squad style. You don't do what I like, I'm gonna blow your head off
and laugh about it.
Well, yeah.
But it is funny though. The more I do these lives with you, the more I don't dislike Section 31 as a movie, because it's trying to do less. Therefore, you can't bitch about stuff it didn't try and do. Because it wasn't the point of the film. You can only judge what they did. Otherwise, every movie can be judged by what they could have done if they'd done a different movie. But that's not the movie they did. Whereas most stuff on these things are things they did that are bad. And I'm going to judge bad points over things they didn't do, which they weren't trying to do. Like, they weren't trying to do ship shots. There was no ship battles on purpose. Well, there was, I suppose, at the end, but, trying, etc.
Still say, just for a wide variety of things, I would much rather watch season 1 of Discovery than rewatch Section 31. Section 31 is just so ugly and drab and boring. At least Discovery tries to do some different things.
But it's also funny because you said previously, I think you gave points to it another time, like short is better than long, and there's easily more than the entire length of Section 31 of bad scenes in season 1 of Discovery. Probably 2, if not 3 times as many scenes. So you're choosing to watch 3 times as many bad scenes just for the sake of watching one set of bad scenes. You know what I mean? Like, that, it's way more bad minutes. Like, if you want a quick death, then go Section 31. If you want a painful, long, very long death, then watch the other one.
Mm-hmm. But still, I don't want to watch Section 31 again. I'm kind of interested, and I'm thinking of rewatching Discovery just to get a feel for it.
I think we shouldn't do re-reviews in it. I think that'd be interesting, with all the perspective.
Yeah.
Like because I've not rewatched it because I've got, standards.
A life.
Yeah, I've got self-respect. There's nothing in it to gain to watch. But if you guys would, support and watch us re-review it with a new lens, I was so interested in seeing how it holds up or doesn't hold up, because at least it's very expensive, right? It has a certain like the mirror stuff. I was obviously rewatching, and I was impressed. I mean, the sets are kind of empty, but they're big. They had to build them all, like they feel like an Emperor's Palace, give or take. I was like, okay, yeah, they feel pretty big.
Yeah.
Right, is no one subjecting thoughts? No one's got any thoughts? If not, we'll move to season 2, and the show gets less bad as we go. So, subject your thoughts. Otherwise, we'll move on to season 2. But can we at least get 50 votes on the poll to get a sense of the thing? So, 42 votes, 59 of you here. I mean, we should get at least 50 votes, right? Logically. Ooh, I set a goal, actually.
Yes. And hit like, guys. Come on. Interact with us. We want you guys to be a part of the discussion and put your thoughts out there. So,
Do you want to read out the goal?
Oh, we have a goal now.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, 10 $5 super chats and 30 minutes. It's already counting down. Do a shot of love?
Yes.
That confuses me and scares me at the same time.
Since we can't do shots of shots, what do we have? We have love for you all.
I could do a shot of water.
Wow.
This is probably full of vodka. You don't know. We have to talk about Discovery on Section 31 today, so...
It turns out for our drunk yards it's all water, and for our non-drunk yards it's all vodka. It's all an act. Dear me. Yeah, okay, still 50 votes, I guess. Oh, there we go. Well, let's finish the poll then. So this is definitely the furthest other way, although half as many people. With 42 votes, Section 31 still wins as the worst, with 71% versus 29, so it over double beats the nearest other one. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm not surprised. A lot of people like Discovery, right?
Sure.
But a lot of people hate Discovery. So honestly, I don't know. This is weird to me. But yeah, Discovery's getting more hate than a lot of the other stuff we've talked about, which is fair. A lot of people love Kelvin. A lot of people we found out a lot of people don't mind Star Trek V as much as we thought. Things like that, right? So, yeah. Plus, it's the audience too. Whoever clicks on the thumbnail. So, don't know if you guys are all the same ones that were here for the last two either. So,
exactly. But yes, fun stuff. And Mr. Rise says, alas, I cannot participate in these discussions, although I would love to. All I can say is that it's appreciated how many folks are passionate about Star Trek. And Rise, of course, is a Star Trek Stranger Worlds concert artist and or more, important fancy person. Of course, Stranger Worlds has some great art design.
Yeah, we've been happy with Stranger Worlds.
Yeah, really great hybrid with some really nice stuff.
Could be more canon, but hey.
Hey, as we've said, every season they might make the set slightly smaller, and by the end to get to more TOS. I mean, they're not going to do it, but they could, and that'd be appreciated. Every year they get more advanced and smaller. But Rise, talented artist.
Nice. Well, glad he's here. Ray Ricks, though, £5. Thank you so much, Ray. This is a bit like asking, would you prefer the hanging tree or the Brazilian bull or the brazen bull? Yeah. Choose your torture.
Because in this case, I think these are the two worst examples of the modern Trek era. Over the JJ films, because 09 is only a movie, right? This is a season. So amount of problems, right? Or at least annoyance. So so these are two examples. That's why the scoring's been pretty close. 47 votes. We've got another 5. 74% Section 31 and 26 Discovery. So after our long discussion, Stuart, we're going to land on which is worse, Season 1 of Star Trek Discovery or Section 31, the feature film.
For me, it's still Section 31. Because there's some interesting stuff to watch in Season 1 of Discovery. Whether it's good or bad, it's still more going on. Although I don't like being slapped in the face every 5 minutes. But hey. Divorce yourself from it. Think it's its own universe, because it is, and then you're fine. It's fine.
And hey, you found Tilly.
Exactly.
And Stamets, who you gave the room key to. Important people you met in your life,
Exactly.
We certainly have more stories with the Discovery cast than with the non-Discovery cast. So,
and Ben says you would feel different maybe if it wasn't set in Prime. Well, it's clearly not set in Prime, so we still have issues with it. But
I mean, clearly it's set in Prime because they told us it is. But yes, we'd have different issues if it was an alternate universe. Then it wouldn't matter.
It's the Disco.
All that stuff wouldn't matter at all. Of course, you can have real-time holograms.
I don't know why you keep justifying the fact that it was in the Prime. It's not.
I mean, if they say it is, it is. That's it. Unfortunately.
But it's clearly not. They're showing us it's not every fucking second on screen. So
yeah, they're telling us it is, which means that
they're stupid and they're trying to shoehorn it in, and it doesn't make sense. So no, my brain can't accept that it's Prime timeline.
And I have to, otherwise you can't do comparisons. And that's why you can complain about the things that don't make sense, because they tell us.
And Reese York was in $20. So thank you so much.
Crazy man.
Has anyone read the Section 31 novels? Love you guys. Thank you. I have not read the Section 31 novels, but I'm sure reading something like that would be better than watching it, because as you read it, you can imagine what things look like, and it would look correct.
Well, yeah. No, I'm interested in the reviews of those. I know that they did it during the pandemic, I believe. Alexander Sindig and the Garrick actor Andrew
Robinson.
Thank you. Like read some of that because they're both in it, which is just wonderful. Good lads. Yeah. And as I've said previously, I think you could do a Section 31 movie and it'd be great. You really could. They just didn't.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Maybe in the sequel. Which is funny because normally for sequels to kind of benefit from the first film, you have to keep the standing sets or like pieces of them to save money. But I don't think they will have saved the. I mean, they blew up the ship in fairness, so there's not really much to keep. Props and costumes, I guess, but conventionally you save money by having the same sets for the second film. You tweak them, of course, but you save the money and then you can use that money you had spent, which is why this is a slightly unfair comparison of a movie versus a series, because of course the movie, if you have to spend a 30 budget on sets, well, in a series you'd spend, it doesn't matter if you spend a third of 2 episodes money on sets, because the rest of the season's money you can reallocate. It balances out, right? Which is why, using existing sets like TOS sets or Stranger World sets, that's cheaper.
Mark Lawrence is here as well with $5. Thank you so much, Mark. The torture session live stream. Yep.
Well, and Rise, are you on season 4 of Stranger Worlds? Did you get back in on the fun?
And is it Rise or is it Reese?
What did I say?
I don't know. You said Rise, but I'm just wondering what is how he pronounces it, because I'm interested.
That is a fair point. I don't know.
Because I'd like to say it correctly from in the future. Yes. That's all.
Yes. He's 10 more talented than we are, so yes. Right. I should do the poll first.
Yeah, he's going to do the poll. I'm going to tell you guys, hit like. We have 53 of you here, 38 likes. I'd like to get to 50 likes. Should be no problem at all. Hit the like button if you're just joining us, or if you haven't hit it yet. We'd really appreciate it. It means a lot. Helps out the algorithm. So does super chatting. Helps us keep doing the show. And, helps us out. Makes us feel good to see the super chats come in. Reese. Yeah, alas. I cannot confirm nor deny. Feel free to DM me. Perfect. Thank you. Reese. That's what I thought.
Don't even know what I said, to be honest. I'm just talking. Okay, so now, Stuart, I'm intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
How do you summarize the plot of season 2 of Star Trek Discovery, having probably not rewatched it since the time?
PTSD. This was the control season. They brought in Pike, which was a good choice, and the Spock murder plot. So Control and Spock murder plot. There you go. That's how I summarize it. Was there anything else that happened? I don't even know.
You forgot the Ba'ul, the Pavo, all that good stuff. The Ba'ul.
Okay, it's still not ringing a bell, but okay.
Oh, yes. Oh, so if I said then to you, Stuart, what is worse, season 2 of Star Trek Discovery or Section 31? Now, of course, this season was, I'll give you the base brief of the first season, of course, was Brian Fuller, the first couple, wrote scripts the entire season. They threw them out, they rearranged, but of course they had to build the sets and props for the entire season going in, so the money was already spent. They had to reverse engineer, go around, end the season differently. Season 2, the co-executive producers of season 1, Brian Fuller's lieutenants, they started writing the season, and they wrote the first 2 or 3, and they spent, was it like 6 episodes budget in the first 2. They look expensive, because they were, and so they had to bail the season out by firing them, because they were obviously going to ruin the budget, because that's insane, and then course correct the entire season away from what they were doing, and then at the end decided to go in the future, because then Kurtzman took over more, gave Michelle Paradise the final 2 episodes to do, which she stayed on close to the franchise. So it's a huge course correct season as well, where the start of the season does not equate to the end of the season, because they had different people making it literally from the course of those 10 episodes or 12 episodes. So a very unique bit of television there. Now I've said that, what are your thoughts? What would you say is worse in this initial thought process? Yes.
Section 31 still. I find Section 31 boring and drab, and I find stuff in Discovery interesting and funny in some instances. I'd completely forgotten that season 2 was the Red Angel and all that plot as well. So, I mean, that's not a good thing. It's also where they go to the future at the end. It seems like there was much more Discovery before that. And I think that feels like that because everything was dragged out so much in every episode. Well, at least, I mean, season 2 has some bright spots, bringing in Pike, bringing in Spock, trying to do the. We're not standing on our own feet. We need to stand on these legacy characters. And
Goes a second.
Interested. Yeah. But there's so much stupidity in season 2 with like 15,000 shuttles coming out of and fighters coming out of the shuttle bay.
And drones.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's 3 different classes of ships in that battle, I believe. It's the mining, spinning thing, the white drones, and the shuttles. There's 3 classes of auxiliary craft in that fight.
The explosion that should have destroyed more of the ship, but the door is fine. That's fine.
I need to write a fan film where the main character doesn't die because he's behind a door. And
the rest of the ship gets annihilated around him.
Yeah, it's like an Intrepid class, just everything around the door. And it's a really awkward CG, like just one door poking out, and everything around is gone. It's like, wow, that would be hey, they did it in canon. We use that door. That is the emergency door. It's the one door in every ship that's designed to survive a thermonuclear explosion.
Yeah. Well, I'm still going to say Section 31's worse because, like I said, there's a few interesting elements in season 2 that there's a lot in Discovery that I kind of enjoy watching, which is rough to say, but it's true. Like I said, it's so good it's bad sometimes, and I always want to see what they're going to do next. And at least there's some action beats. The action beats in Section 31 were so awful and drawn out. Like those fights and that chase were just blurry messes that I couldn't stand, and they went way too long. So, I don't know. Sorry. It's still Section 31 for me, just before we even get into Season 2.
And I appreciate your consistency, Stuart. Which is so interesting, because obviously your scores of Section 31 were 5 and then 4. Which is interesting. If you would maintain to that, then no other Trek, in your estimation, is below a 4. Because for that to be the worst thing, everything must be above it. I'm not saying if that's right or wrong, but no other movie or series or season is lower than a 4.
My scoring might have been off. Should have been lower, maybe.
This is why it's interesting to debate and discuss and contrast. Contrast! It's interesting.
Like I said, I like the characters in Section 31. There's a few things I did like in it, so I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
I scored it as its own thing. I didn't expect to be putting it up against the other Star Trek movies.
Yeah. So this is a hard one for me because season 2 of Discovery, in my memory, the season of contrast, it has some great things and some really low things, but it actually has some great things, right? So Section 31 is a mid. This is a that. Discovery season 1 is this, like a little bit of good, mostly bad. So there's some really good stuff in here, and I'll show the audience. So this is what I came up with going through. So this first season, lots of stuff. It's only still quite a few things. It's still quite a few things, but it's less. And I was going through entire episodes to find, so there is distinctly less bad, but some of them are really like goddamn reasons.
Before you get into that, though, we got Jonas Brezin, who's Brazilian currency, not quite sure. But hey, shout out from Brazil. Section 31 is a piece of shit. There you go. Hello, Brazil, from Canada and the UK. Glad you're watching. Thank you for super chatting. It means a lot. And we still have our goal, guys. We have 3 of the 10. We have another 15 minutes to get 7 more super chats in to reach our goal. So if you can, please do. We'd appreciate it. And hit like. We're still not at 50 likes. We're at 43. We need 7 more likes. So if you're just joining us or haven't hit it yet, please do so.
Yeah. So Discovery season 2. Things that people have common complaints with. The inclusion of this very mean white guy in the first episode, which is just a bad writing choice across the board. And you can do a bad white guy, but he's a slap in the face of people, let alone fans. So that's a common complaint. The introduction of turbulent roller coasters, common complaint. This is sort of season 1 as well, but in season 2 and onwards, Micah Burnham always being an expert in everything, like constantly being the best. That's like be a season 2 thing. So she happens to also be a test pilot, and it's just obnoxious, right? A common complaint. Michelle Yeoh in Station 31, space Hitler walking around missions, common complaint. The Pavo stuff is fine. It's okay with Saru's planet, but the fact they reused and redressed the transporter room obnoxiously to be the pool for half an episode is just obnoxious. The Rangel plot entirely isn't good and is not well liked, just as a whole. The introduction of the sentient AI, which now it's been a long time and I always had more fun saying it at the time, but they introduced the sentient AI, which is in it from the future, which makes itself, but it's already there, and they keep saying we have to stop our sentient AI from being sentient, but it already is itself from the future. So the scripts don't quite appreciate they've already done the thing that they're trying to stop because it is already from the future. So just that whole plot didn't really work. And of course, if you're the sentient AI from the future that destroyed the universe, you should be a harder threat than how they presented it. Emo Spock, generally not liked. The look, him is fine, but the look. Introducing Aram as a lead character and then killing this episode, generally not liked as a concept. It was just very poorly done. At least 2 before. In general, the art design for Section 31, and I remember, I skimmed, so I obviously had to remember, but the idea of Cornwall knowing where the base is, just the whole framing was not well liked by fans for the logic of Section 31. Spending like 7 minutes on Aram's funeral and singing when we don't care, when no one cares about her in any way for the audience, and just miss getting that no one cares. Again, disliked by audience. The twist, the Red Angels, Michael's mum, not particularly well liked. Flashback with the Discovery Klingons, not well liked. The fact that a pre-Cage random lady can invent an infinite time travel space quadrant hopping suit with unlimited storage, people don't like that either. The introduction of the we promised not Borg control, again not well liked. The way they handled it, especially as there's even like musical cues. There's something Borg that people are saying, oh, it'll be Borg. Leland being a Terminator but then being really ineffective is not well liked because it just doesn't. You can't create the powerful strategy and then just have him just walk around firing. But he could run and not well liked. Again, the Red Angel suit not well liked. The fact that there's plot holes throughout the season. They explicitly say middle of the season, Section 31 is going to download the sphere data, and they do it, and they get like 80%, which is not how data transferring works because you're transferring as you're going. That's how data transfer works. You don't. Anyway. I mean, at least some, but that would be how it worked, right? Especially 601 device. And then in the second half of the season, there's an explicit plot point where they can't move the data because it can't be moved. So both plot points are important to the story and both contradict in the same season, which just breaks. They didn't even. Just plot holes, right? The Time Crystal, universally disliked. While cool to see Pike, just the framing was disliked. The Enterprise tech in this case is the combining. Docking thing, just stuff that doesn't make sense for the Enterprise. The scale uptick, like that stuff doesn't fit for TOS. It doesn't even try to. The bridge being the extra size, no one likes the extra corridor, and then building Rangel suit in an afternoon with no one likes that. The turbolifts again, the battle. Some people like the battle, but I think it's one of the worst battles in all Star Trek. Even worse than a TNG. It's just a visual mess. It doesn't make sense. You shouldn't add 10,000 drones to then have them be cannon fodder because you make all of it just pointless and noise, especially as the big ships would just fly in, shoot phase and kill them. It's a very, 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 very bad battle. The fact that Saru's sister comes in, they've now learned to fly spacecraft in 3 weeks. Nope, no one likes that. Pretty much, just the stuff in general with Giorgio, Lady, and the yum stuff, that's pretty cringe and just bad. The foam torpedo detonating but not, destroying part of the ship but not the door. And of course Spock's entire relationship with Kirk being defined by Burnham saying go and find that one guy. and it kind of retcons the whole thing as Burnham's the reason for it, which just sort of devalues everything after it and kind of makes it feel really insular and slightly insulting. So there you go. Those are the common. Now it is less, in fairness, but they're more plot based and just this is stuff in the writing. But we know it was rewritten as well, so it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, thoughts. Now I've resaid a lot of the negative stuff.
Some things are way more egregious though, like the turbo shaft corridors, like the bridge of the TOS Enterprise having that extra corridor at the back. Like there's some things that just are really huge. What the fucks? Wow.
Did you remember a lot of that stuff, or did I kind of bring you?
No, I did not. I knew it was in Discovery somewhere. I didn't think it was all in season 2 though.
Yeah.
We got some super chats. Ray Ricks, £5.
Thank you.
Do you remember when they tried to convince us the Red Angel wasn't Burnham and played the reveal like it's a big surprise? Oh, and time crystals. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Raymond Sanders throws in $10. Shout out. Thanks for your analysis. I totally agree. Section 31 was not good.
Thank you.
We have 8 minutes left, by the way, for our goal. We're halfway. We have 5 out of the 10 super chats we need. So if you guys can super chat in and get the last 5 in the next
makes a big difference,
8 minutes, would be fantastic.
Makes a big difference. And vote in the poll. It is, again, very interesting. Do vote. We have 41 votes. We're at least 50. At least 50. Alex Phoenix's comment, Sam's brain is slowly breaking. Yeah, it's interesting because season 1 of Discovery in the rewatch felt like it constantly, you're a Trek fan in a Trekkie uniform, and they've said, stand in front of us, and they keep slapping you in the face. Just constantly just slapping you. Like, just take it, take it. This season, rewatching it, felt stupider. Like, the intelligence went down, and they put in way more problems that were stupid-based versus, you know, art design and canon breaking. So it's a very different sort of problem. That's why I associate season 2 as just a flawed season narratively, thematically, pacingly, and some really weird, like, that's not a good episode, that's a weird thing to do, that's a weird... But it's not, you know, it's very different sort of problems, the 2 seasons. So this annoys me more, but the other one angers me more. And they are very different feelings. Your thoughts, having re-expressed all of the many things?
I guess anger is a good point. Like, just a little more angry about season 2 because of how things were treated. And yeah, being slapped in the face. But I still would rather watch season 2 of Discovery than Section 31. That's just boring.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I would agree with you there.
Boring, I can't forgive. I mean, anger, I can forgive. At least I'm getting some kind of reaction out of me.
And there is boring episodes of season 2 as well.
Oh, there are, 100%.
So you're probably going to still live through 90 minutes of boring as well. Yeah. Just there's some good... And then, as I was rewatching, a lot of good Pike stuff. He does epic. There's some pretty good space shots. The Red Angel is dumb, but I liked being the mum. I didn't like it being her again. I mean, we had a whole debate at the time saying it's not. I think I was on this. It's not going to be Burnham. It's the mum. It's going to be the mum again. Like, it makes more sense. And then I think the House of Cards came down. The glass shattered. I'm like, yeah, they're going to be Burnham, and it's going to be bad again.
Well, Ash Marsden says, I'd rather watch Star Trek 5 on loop for a year than watch Section 31 again. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Star Trek 5 though. So
a lot of good scenes.
Mark Lawrence, $5. Yes, the torture live stream trudges forward. Thank you for enjoying our pain. We're 6 of our 10 super chat goal with 5 minutes left, guys. So if you can super chat in,
that would help us a lot. That helps a lot as well. Get us to a personal goal. I'll tell you that now. But it's interesting rewatch again. I skimmed every single episode. Right now, one like zooming. This is the Section 31 season of Star Trek, because they are literally the other ship the entire season. You got Giorgio in episode 2 on the Klingon arc. She's a Section 31 agent, right up there. You've got Tyler throughout the season finishing his love plot with Burnham, and then not Terrell, Lorel. That was pretty close. You've got Leland, who's actually a good actor until he becomes Control, and then he's just a flat actor. But he looks villainous, and I buy him as Section 31. You've got the new ship design. Actually, lots of new ship designs, in fairness. And the drone tech, which is interesting. You've got them design. There actually is their season. It's a really interesting parallel. And this season, they feel pretty... Not competent, of course, it's being written by Discovery. But they feel more technological you know, they've got custom weapons and phasers and ships and tech, and it can cloak kind of, but like it becomes an asteroid. Like, that's actually not well done, but it's done. It's committed to, right? There's a thing, and I actually quite like the bridge design being the Shinjo just rejiggered a lot.
Yeah. Squid ship as well. The squid design, which we thought, oh, it's going to tie into Picard.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Season 1 ending, but no, didn't.
And it's also interesting because this is implied to be one of the very earliest. Because in this version of the universe, the Discovery version, all life got killed by Control at a certain point in the future, and that was like, we didn't cause Control. So that's what happened first. The universe died first, then we saw them and solved it. Like, that, you know, we never caused Control. It's out of our loop. So it happened on its own, killed everybody, and we stopped it in the second loop because of the Red Angel, etc. So it's a funny old, like, normally like self-fulfilling or whatever, but it's such a abstract. So it means that all Trek can't exist before Control is destroyed in season 2 of Discovery. But yeah.
Another thing that was failed to be mentioned was the whole they end up stopping Control, and everybody volunteers to go to the future for some reason, even people that probably shouldn't. You can volunteering. That's one thing. And then, you know, we stopped Control, so you just don't go to the future now. You could have stopped that. But whatever.
I don't think that's ever a point people talk about. That's an us point, so I didn't include it. But I had forgotten about that. The entirely non rationale. Because they don't even take control of the future. Like, every element of it gets stopped, so they're 100% in the clear. 100%. It's a good point. But the thing is, it ended up being the best thing the show ever did, right? So I can't be mad at it because that gave it its second life.
Yes, you're not wrong there. They did figure out that they need to get out of where they are shoehorned in the timeline. So, just started in the future would have been great. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. And then you can say there's alternate timeline too, because it would have been so distant in the future. As the plot of season 2 of Discovery, you can change the future, which means you cannot be the season 3 future.
And Valyard says at least season 2 did try to begin to fix the Klingons. Kinda.
Yeah, but it was definitely a band-aid. Because it's all the same makeup, and then adding hair when makeup is clearly not designed for it. And I did go back and watch, and so many of it, like, we were so happy to see it at the time, but going back, it's like putting wigs on pigs. It's like you.
That rhymes.
Thank you. You can see a disconnect of this is not meant for that, so they don't connect. Like, they're not designed for hair, but they're like, we'll add hair, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't even look real. It looks like people, like, it looks like what it is, right? A retcon of their own concept. But they didn't want to throw away the makeup because it was millions of makeup, presumably.
Yeah, well, that's a Brian Fuller problem. Unfortunately, got carried over.
Doomed so much of Discovery, right?
And guys, we have 1:20 left in our goal, so we are 7. Well, we need 3 more super chats of $5 or more to get the goal in the next minute. Can you do it? Let's see. Anyway, we got some more super chats.
Yes.
It's Brian Grobe, $5.
Hi, Brian. Thank you.
Section 31 felt like it was trying to turn Star Trek into the same as Marvel and Mission Impossible. Disco at least tried to be something new.
But inside the old, which means it broke the old. Like pre-TOS, then breaking it meant that it was actively not trying to do something new. It was trying to break, like, damage the old to make the new. Yeah, I think that's worse.
Well, there are ways they could have done this the same and had it still fit into the prime timeline and look correct. So, I mean, hey.
Yes.
Classic for real, $2. Bump down Disco season 3 to F tier. Section 31.
Yeah, that Rainforest ship looks a lot better now, doesn't it?
No. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of.
So what does Section 31 do better than Season 2? Because I think there are less plot holes in Section 31, but there's also less plot. I think. Oh, is it funnier? Because Pike is entertaining. I don't know if he's funny. So Section 31 probably funnier than Discovery Season 2. Because I wouldn't say it's funny. Like, it's not comedy's not what it's going for, right? What do you think? Okay, we're trying to think, what does it do better? We're having the debate, right?
What does Season 2 do better than Section 31?
No. What does Section 31 do better than Season 2?
Section 31 was compressed into a movie, which makes it better than Season 2 of Discovery because it wasn't long, drawn-out bullshit. It was compressed bullshit, but it's still bullshit. And if you take the same amount of bullshit and pack it in the same size bag, unfortunately, it's I don't know. See, and that's the thing. Section 31 bores me, and that's the worst fucking thing you could do. At least Discovery, it's waiting to see what's next. That's so bad because so bad it's good in some spots. You know what I mean? It's interesting to watch. Yes. You got to divorce yourself from the fact that it's prime timeline in order to actually kind of enjoy it a little bit.
It does help.
And Section 31 doesn't know what it wants to do. Does it want to commit to being in the Discoverse, or does it want to be in prime timeline? As we saw with their phaser wall video. Go check that out. I don't know. So the question is, what did Section 31 do better than
okay, so it's not even funnier. So you're saying Season Discovery is funnier?
There's a lot of funny moments in Discovery and good character moments. I mean, I liked the character moments in Section 31. I thought they were done well, but like I said, there's still some good ones in Season 2 of Discovery as well.
Well, I think even that being facetious, hands down, Section 31 does characters better. Because, as in, they're all sort of... Like, you like the Delton lady more than the entire bridge crew of Discovery. And she has 3 lines. It helps she's an attractive lady who does sexy things, fine. But, like, you like her more than Reese or Bryce. They're nobodies, right? In Season 2, we're not going beyond that. Is that fair to say?
I've never once mentioned the Delton ladies, so I don't know if you're talking to me specifically.
Well, I'm saying in general, like the least used character is still, I feel like I know them better than Rice or like, but they're better. Yeah, so characters.
You're correct. And it's Reese, not Rice.
Well, as I was saying Bryce, I must have made the two. Like,
yeah. I'm just. But yeah, this is really taxing on the brain because trying to look for good things that Section 31 did, and
sure, yeah.
I'd rather watch Season 2 of Discovery. I'm saying it again. I'm just trying to think of anything that's really stand out good in Section 31 that's better than Season 2 of Discovery, and the character work, sure. At least for characters that we just got introduced to, get known way quicker than characters that have been here since Season 1 that are always on the bridge, that we don't know their names, we get confused as to who's who, what they do, we don't know anything about them. Yes, we learn about them later, but as you said, it's just Season 2 we're talking about. So yes, character work maybe in Section 31 is better. There's one good positive thing I can say about Section 31.
Excellent. Because you got to be as fair as possible, right? That's the name of the game.
Classic for real throws in $2. Bump up Delton lady to Rainforest ship.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Bump. All right. So what are the poll results looking like?
Before I do that, Rest Knuckle Iron Gut says, "Can we at least all agree it was all bad and collectively suppress the memories?" Yes. After this live. This is trudging up a lot of stuff that I've forgotten about with Discovery.
Yep. I did not enjoy my way too long reskim.
You know, you better live a good life, Sam, because your version of hell will be watching Discovery on repeat.
I mean, the thing is, you could tune it out, right? Like the shock value does not continue after. It's sadness over shock, right? Once you know what's going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, to the poll results, we have 52
Yes.
votes. Great. Which is worse? Section 31 is worse with 79%. Discovery Season 2 has 21%.
Still almost double every other thing, so there is still... We still have more engagement of negativity than any of the modern Trek, or classic Trek, sorry, and JJ. So they're still interesting. All right.
Phoenix Gundam says Jet Reno was good, though. She was, yeah, but underused. Criminally underused in all the seasons after she was introduced. He needs a Men in Black memory wipe. Yes, please. Was that guy in Section 31 supposed to be a Borg? No, Bill, he was not.
They just gave us Borgy art design, but not really. I don't remember why we thought he was. I think it was green and nano... Oh, it was nanoprobes. They just didn't call them nanoprobes.
Yeah. We thought that's where they were headed.
All right. So next we have Season 3 of Star Trek Discovery, which of course is the season of the future. Now, as you can see from the graphics, I found significantly less that people zeitgeist didn't like about this season there's not even 2 pages of slides for this, so it's a lot less. The bell curve has now shifted. Season 3 is when, at least for us, even I was trying to I was be objective what do people not like, and I could not find much that the people zeitgeisted, etc. So I'll say to you first of all, what do you think is worse, Section 31 or Discovery Season 3? And why in this context?
Section 31. You keep asking.
I have to.
The same question and expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity.
I don't expect
Sam.
It.
Classic for real, $2. Here's $2 to bribe chat to vote Discovery Season 3. There you go. Well, Season 3 of Discovery we actually started to enjoy because they had removed themselves from the timeline. It was the future. Everything was new and interesting. We got introduced to new characters, which we kind of got to know better. We actually started learning about some of the bridge crew a tad bit. And yeah, we got some justice, #justice for Seal.
And we got
it. And the plot, yes, the burn was kind of an interesting idea, but stupidly executed. Like, was it just ships that were traveling at warp? Was it every ship that had an active warp? Well, they say active warp drive, but that means it's traveling at warp. It just powered on. Every ship got destroyed. There's no clarification.
And even the one shot we got of the burn, they're all staying still. But is that a conceptual shot or actual shot?
That was a conceptual shot, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Well, that's not clear.
No, it's not. But we enjoyed it more because even the story of the burn, yes, a lot of people absolutely hated the fact that it was just a kid that screamed that caused it. I get that. Me and you are a little bit different, though, because it felt like a very unique and interesting idea. And it feels like something that would have been introduced in like TNG as an interesting plot point for an episode that, destroyed a solar system. It's the same kind of thing. It's something small and you wouldn't expect it, right?
It was right out of TNG.
Yeah, so we enjoyed the plot point, but a lot of people absolutely despise that. I personally thought it was very interesting. And yeah, the whole thing with the Federation kind of being on its back foot because of all the ships destroyed, and there's a few survivors here and there scattered throughout who can't communicate with each other. Interesting vibes. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed Season 3 more than Discovery, more than Section 31. So that's easily a hands down yes.
Yes, and now I would say Section 31 is worse than Season 3 of Discovery. So this is my tipping point. Because I was shocked, like I said, by how few problems Now, I think it's fair to say, though, and guys, do chime in here. I think it's fair to say that when we hit Season 3 of Discovery, the quality changed in the show, and so the hate watchers had less to talk about. So in Season 2, they kept producing videos complaining about things, but in Season 3, that content really dried up because there's a lot less to talk about, because it did a lot less... apart from the burn, but that's the thing.
Until the reveal of the burn, I was going to say, yeah.
But the whole season, it's a lot less controversial, so a lot of people talked about it, and so therefore the issues, we felt, especially Season 4, which we'll get to in a minute, the conversation dried up a lot for Season 3, whereas Season 2 was, ooh, Pike, then ooh, plot, then ooh, Angel, then ooh, Angel. Like, there was a people were talking, but more people were burned by Sergeant Discovery that didn't return for season 3, and we felt the visceral interest is a lot less because season 2, you know, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you, whichever was it. You know, season 3, I should not watch season 3 because season 2 was so bad. Season 3 was the first casualty of that, so people didn't discuss it as much. So when I'm thinking about the issues everyone had, the discussion was a lot less. What do you think about that?
It's interesting. You're right. Because yeah, the videos from all those channels did kind of dry up during this season because yeah, either they had tuned out or just didn't want to watch anymore. But I kind of doubt that. It was a better constructed season for sure. And yeah, divorcing yourself from being shoehorned in a timeline definitely helped. So yeah, you're right.
So, some common issues that I have found here. A lot less, so quicker to go through. First of all, the character tonal change. The Burnham getting high scene. All the characters feel different this year without motivate. Like, they've wanted to change them because let's just do a reset. And so there's kind of a tonal hard reset a lot of people, which is jarring. But it's a new showrunner, so she's doing different things. It makes sense, but it's jarring. The fact that, we say this many times, but they both do and don't care about canon. Look, there's a Morn race, but he's bald and he shouldn't be. So is 2 steps forward and 3 back. So common, and that's a common complaint because it's just like you just didn't at least read the wiki on Morn before you utilise him as a character. Because they kind of had a lot of fun with doing all the weird hairstyles of Morn races, like ponytail, red curls. Like that could have been a really fun in joke of like, wow, this one's a blue head Morn.
Hairstyles, yeah.
Yeah, but like that's just wrong, right? Like it's just a mistake. Third slide is in this season when we were all about, okay, this is now the crew in the future, and they kept promising the secondary cast, and once again for a 3rd year in a row they're let down, they're not used, and it felt more visceral this year because in theory they should all be given, and they were promised. So huge letdown bridge crew. For Adira, when they became Trill, it added nothing to the character. And normally a Trill symbiont, all that knowledge would do. Heavy letdown for plot, and I don't feel like a Trill at any point the rest of the show. Huge plot nonsense. The Enterprise, the Voyager J, being set up as a little masturbatory yay and then never used again. Now that feels like a big problem because you don't show it if you're not going to use it in that way. The 6th one being the shall be open. That became a running joke, not just from us, but from other people noticing it. But also the idea of the Federation being so small, people didn't like that in general. In this, the Burnham one is Burnham then even more so always was the front runner of missions, even though she wasn't always rationed to be. And that became more obvious in season 3 because it wasn't about her like season 1 was, like more so. So the fact that she was always doing the thing, it got obnoxious. The nacelle. That was the biggest issue of season 3, probably that and the burn, was the nacelles not connecting. The universal problem, we have no problem, but apart from us, universal problem. A problem, they introduced the tech of the replica matter in one scene, they never use it again, ever, at any point on the bridge, and they don't change the bridge. Just nonsensical, like, at that point, redo the sets. Just repaint them, redo them, fine. Navarre being not, Vulcan being called Navarre, I think that was, a lot of people didn't like that. As I was going through season 3, I found 2 distinct Burnham was crying beats that I wasn't looking for, but they both stood out hugely. So she cries. Like, I wasn't looking for it, but I found 2, and both feel out of play. So Burnham cries, and if the more you cry, the less it has impact. Space battles, terrible. Just horrendous in the season. The mirror stuff, it's like Boba Fett putting one out for Mandalorian. They made 2 Mirror Universe episodes inside of season 3. I liked that. You didn't. The fandom is split, but it's weird and whatever. The Turbolift fight at the end, in the fully embracing the now could make sense, but it's still obnoxious because you're saying the ship is now 10 miles long. Who knows? And then of course the burn at the end is universally disliked except for us. So those are the common things. So a lot less, and a lot more small things. Fair to say, I think.
Yeah, I think Michael Burnham was all over the map on this one. She arrived there first. She met Book. That's fine. But yeah, you're right. She was an emotional wreck this entire season, and one extreme to the other. Her character was in the stages of being retooled, essentially, to get it right. And for the final 2 seasons, especially the final season, took them long enough. But hey, so yeah, she was. Yeah. Wow. I don't remember the space battles necessarily. I can see book ship there, but
That's the one where they fight the Green Lady ship above Quajon,
Syra.
and thank you. And they spend the entire battle down to like 15% shields, and it goes pew pew. And then if you go down to 15% shield in the first minute and then fight for another 10 minutes, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I guess there's no tension or power to this scene. Okay, so that was the rationale for that. And they're just bad, right? But Discovery's never had good space battles in the history of the show ever. So why start now? But like every year doing bad. I've done better space battles. I'm gonna say it. I've done better space battles in my fan films on zero budget.
Yeah. Getting introduced to new characters was great. Vance stands out. So there's quite a few. Sahil, justice for Sahil. Oh my goodness. So yeah, if you're going to ask the question, I'm going to say it yet again. Section 31 is worse than season 3 of Discovery, because season 3 of Discovery got better for both you and I in viewing
Substantially.
And yeah, it was worth pointing that out, because they actually figured shit out a little bit and listened to the fans somewhat in this season and onward.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of these issues I've called out are either not unique to this season, or are just common Discovery problems that aren't super obnoxious because you're used to them. Like, of course they're going to get Morn's race hair wrong. They always get aliens wrong. Of course they're not going to use the bridge crew. They never have. Of course they're not going to do ship stuff well. They never have. Of course they're going to have the child bed door open. They always have. Of course they're not going to do expensive visual effects inside, because they never do. They don't change the sets. Of course, you know, like that stuff's of course, right? So a lot of this stuff is just endemic to the show, not to the season. So but some more specific. And I had no problem with Navarre. I don't love it, but I have no problem. I like the Mirror Universe stuff. I don't care Michael Burnham's crying personally. I like the burn. So if this makes sense, it's just dumb. Like, so I personally, I'm far less... Like, there's no annoyance for anything in this. And which is about season 1 being slapped in the face, season 2 being angered. Nothing here angers me. It just makes me a little bit sad, but moving on. So there's a huge difference, right?
there's one thing that angers me, and that's where they doubled and quadrupled and down on the fucking turbolift caverns. Because yeah, there's a whole fight sequence in one, and it's like, oh my god, they just exemplify how awful that is.
Yes, it's the end season set piece.
Yeah, it's like we were hoping that they were going away from it at this point, and then they just put everything on the table and said, nope, this is totally still a thing.
And of course, it's really funny, because had they, as we said at the time, never done it before, and then some guy had this idea to do it, and then you get a scene where they say, shh, and they walk in and Stamets like, oh, I haven't seen the new installed internal time space dampener unit in action, until it's like, oh yeah, last Tuesday, ha ha ha. Yes, it gives internal space 6 times the volume, so we can do missions. You know, we have entire forests in here. Like, I have my seal forest, like things like that. You can explain it and they'd be like, wow, you made TARDIS tech. Because Enterprise, they had it, and it's before this, which means they have it now. Fine. But the fact that it's endemic to the show makes it a problem versus it in itself a problem.
Yeah.
And if the ship's that big, like, I have a lot less grounding care of the ship, because why wouldn't they have 500 spare shuttles? They've got space. Have 3 spare warp cores in the left corner, right?
Classic for real, $2. Shout out of dislikers of season 3, even if it's just me. A lot of people dislike season 3 classic. It's not just you.
That's knuckle. Oh dear. Carlos. I mean, they're less dark. I mean, you know, yeah. Phoenix Stockholm syndrome. Yeah. I mean, you can't be angry after the initial mistakes, because they're all a lot of the same mistakes, right? It's just endemic to the problem of the show. Yeah, the poll, 39 votes. We're going down in votes. Guys, at least get us to 42. So we have the other ones as well. Yeah, weird season.
Yeah.
But I like the pacing of the burn. Vance is amazing. You know, yeah, all the new characters pretty much are good. Osira was great. As in, so was, you know, yeah. Without the bird in the first 2 seasons and Brian Fuller's vision, they made a lot of good choices. Book, I mean, comes out strong, and we met him, amazing cast.
So does Vance, yeah.
Yeah, like proper standout characters that deserve to be, we gave them both high in our rankings anyway.
And what's his name? Daniels.
Kovic.
Kovic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Clarence says there is really no comparison between Section 31 and Disco any season.
Well, we had 3 unique, vibes this time. And I almost included Carl and the Guardian, but I think most people accepted it as being fine because it was close enough, right? So I think that was not a thing that people had a real problem with. They could have, but they didn't. It was an okay version.
Yeah, I think the only thing that people really had a problem was with where are you sending Giorgio? And it's never really 100% clarified, even with the Section 31 movie. There's still a lot of... I had Michael Crawford, like Salty Trekker, message me. Like, where do you guys get the fact that she's in the Lost Era? And so I showed him all the evidence. Because it's never stated. And that stardate is before where No Man Has Gone Before. I'm like, you can't take the stardate into account because it's TNG revised stardate, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, well, the fact there's a assault phaser means it's after Star Trek 6.
Yeah.
I mean, at the very least, just that alone means it has to be late Lost Era or mid Lost Era.
Yeah. So yeah, I wish they would have clarified that for sure. For the general audience and even some Trekkies, they might not look at the minutia and understand where she was sent, and it's just assume it's the same as Discovery.
Yeah, because you can't tell. There's nothing actually in the movie.
There's no way to tell.
And because
except for Rachel Garrett.
But you wouldn't know who she was if you're not a Trekkie. And that's who it's aimed for.
Salty Trekker said, well, is you sure it's the same Rachel Garrett? And I'm like, well, they referenced her being a captain twice. What are the chances it's not the same Rachel Garrett? Like, come on.
I mean, but for maybe as Rachel, but Becky, that's what she goes by, right? I don't know. I mean, maybe the Rachel Garrett they'd probably see was named after this Rachel Garrett, right? They could easily have made that as a... And it would have been fine if it had been, Susie Garrett, Rachel's grandmother, and it was Discovery era, right? Because the thing, when you make Discovery look so futuristic and not appropriate, this movie looks identical to Discovery, even though it's set 67 years later. Everything is indistinguishable from Discovery, so you literally can't tell the difference. Because indistinguishable. That's a problem, and that's why you don't do Discovery, because then anything after Discovery looks a moot point, and you cannot tell. We said that
I said one scene with Rachel Garrett getting the assignment on a Starfleet vessel wearing a monster maroon. That's all you needed. And then the next thing is time you see her, she's with this band of misfits.
Or boy, I mean, again, we said during our many reviews of this thing. It's been a long week. When they say right at the end of the second movie, they say, "Oh, how's your debriefing?" If you'd had a sequence similar to season 2 of Discovery where everyone's been debriefed by the Admiralty, if you had a similar room, 3 people on Monster Maroons, no chat. I mean, they would have been the fucking wrong ones, of course. They would have butchered them, right? Of course, they'd just be off the section off the Stranger Worlds line. They would have been the wrong ones, of course. But let's say they did the real ones. Just 3 admirals, 3 captains doing the debriefing. Each character gets a few lines. That's it. That's all you need. It's like, oh, cool. Right.
Yep.
Less than 5 minutes. All right. So yeah, fair to say we are super on the Section 31 is worse than season 3 Discovery. So let's end the poll, I suppose, and see what the final results are. 42 votes. Hey, we got there. Is this more than season 2?
No. Season 2 was 24, wasn't it?
I have to go back and look. No, 20. So more people dislike season 3 of Discovery than season 2 of Discovery.
Because of the burn, the reason for the burn, I think.
Do you not remember the Red Angel and the entire broken plot line? Wow, so less people like season 3 and season 2. Okay, wow. Okay. This'll get interesting then, with the season 3 and 4.
I'm assuming you think Section 31 is the worst out of... But you like season 3, relatively speaking.
Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, not even close. This is a much better season of television. It tries to be Star Trek. Vance is great. I mean, yeah. This can't even on characters because the new characters are better than anyone in Section 31.
Yeah.
Yeah, hands down.
And Mick Murr says, "Wow, it's like picking between 2 dog turds." Yes, but some dog turds are like kind of more solid. They don't smell as bad. Other ones are kind of squishy and just stink up the whole house. So yes, That's exactly what it's like.
It's an interesting exercise, which is why we're doing it. So, now I'm going to leave this blank for a second, not give you any reference images to even hint at. Section 31 or Season 4 of Discovery, and why?
Season 4 of Discovery was... Oh, the C10. Or whatever species. Yeah, outside the galaxy. Great idea for a plot. Again, as I've said before, it should have been 3 or 4 episodes max, not all 10. You also got crazy scientist dude and book. Still Section 31 is the worst. Yeah, Season 4 I don't think was as good. I mean, the first couple episodes and the last couple episodes were good. The middle part was all shit. So I think I like Season 3 a little bit better than Season 4 because of that. But if they had truncated it and made it shorter, it would have been a much better story in total for the C10 or the whatever they're called. Yeah, I like the premise of an outside the galaxy threat. That's cool. That's something new. That's something interesting. But again, mishandled. Like, I think after Season 3, like we praised episode 1 and 2 because there was some really cool stuff going on. The pacing was pretty good. This is good. And then it just turned to dog shit and got really boring. As soon as they went and tried to get the map from that casino planet thing, that's where it really fell apart for me. Like, that episode was atrocious. That being said, we did learn more about Awashikon, and she was in that episode. And yeah, I don't remember a lot of after that until the C10 reveal, because that was pretty cool. I just remember it was just kept dragging on and on and on and on and on. That's what I remember of Season 4.
So there's a reason I ask, as there always is. So I just did the quick math. There was 27 slides of pictures of things that were things per prom with for Season 1. 27 individual items. 29 for Season 2, 16 for Season 3, and having skimmed the entire season, I could only find 5 in Season 4.
Season 4, as Matthew DeFreitas points out, was also the introduction of flamethrowers on the bridge, which everybody hated.
Yeah, that's in my Season 5 set, because I noticed them more, because, yeah. But 5. How do you feel? I only found 5 versus in the high 20s for things the Zeitgeist people didn't like.
Makes sense, because they're not breaking canon here, because it's in the future. And, like I said, most of it's just boring and forgettable. So it suffers from the same problem that Section 31 has for me. It bored me. And it had such potential to start, and we were like, okay, this is going to be better. Like, they've learned.
It's not a super weapon, it's a super wave, sort of.
And then they didn't learn. And
nope.
So yeah, it's interesting that there's only 5. I think a lot of people also had tuned out by this point, and just you didn't hear all the ruckus about what was wrong with it.
I mean, our views went down.
They did, yeah.
You guys weren't as engaged every season, and we were always doing the same good quality work, etc. So yes, I obviously wanted to let you go in first on this. So yes, I skimmed Season 4, and I remembered so little of it. First of the season, I was like, I so little of this is memorable. So little of this is distinct. None of it is really bad, but I was hard pressed to find just things. And I only remember, like you, that's why I gave the full floor there. The 10C last bit, great. The bit at the start with Book and Kwejan, cool. And Vulcan a bit. And then everything in the middle, I'm like, what did happen? And then you remember, yes, of the scientist guy, and then just his general plot, and he was great, but his general plot, yeah, it's a super non-season, and I think we were waiting for stuff to happen every episode. But obviously we didn't care as much, but that's the thing. It's a season of not as bad, but how much good is there? I don't remember. So the 5 things I could see when scroll the whole thing, the fact that what is this character's name? Adira's
Gray.
Gray. So the fact that Gray is then just sort of ejected from the show, like if you're doing a character, either do them really well or don't. So it was like they became a cyborg and then thrown away. That's, you know, don't think people like that in general. The entire episode with Tilly and the young people is just not well handled. They're obnoxious. It's not. She's not good in that. They're not good in it, and people don't like the young people, which is bad for Academy. And like that's the entire premise, and it's one of the worst episodes of the season. The poker scene, as you said, that was bad. The whole episode, for the most part, and that. I found another one of Michael Burnham crying. That happened a few times. Again, I found, and then putting this Stacey lady politician in the final, controversial because she's a real politician, and that felt very odd. And it's obviously showing a political leaning. You don't really do that, and that had a lot of problems. And that was it. Those are the only 5 things that I could find, and that's not a lot.
Yeah. Interesting.
The apathy.
I mean,
of
blowing
season 4.
up Quai Jean rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
Did it? Did people care? I don't remember anyone really talking about that. I mean, it's you know, like even that's like yeah. What do you guys think? Because I'm throwing out these factoids, but you know, I was surprised by how little I could find. Just padding and stuff and.
Thoughts, guys? Super chat in your thoughts about season 4. Anything you dislike that we missed?
Like I even scrolled through and I can't remember what I scrolled through. I mean, I did just watch every episode, so fine, it's a lot in my brain. But yeah, I like Vance in it. I like Kovic in it. I liked the scientist a lot. He was really good. Less good as it went on, but he was really good. But everything was slow and drawn out, and the sets were lovely. Like the new sets were cool. The new bar. I believe I've just done through the season. I believe the season that Colbert has his "I died once, I'm sad" season, and then the next season it's "Should I be Angel?" I don't remember. I think similar stuff. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I remember what happened in season 4. And that's the problem.
Because does that not make it worse? Because we can't remember, and we review it every week with all this content. Is that not worse? Because I'm not going to forget Sam and the Doomsday Weapon and the shitty fight. Like, that's memorable bad, not, I don't remember it good.
The problem is, as I said, Section 31 bored me, and that's something I can't really stand. This season also bored the shit out of me. So would I rather watch this season than Section 31? Yes, the 10C plot element was excellent, and the reveal was good at the end. The beginning and the end of the season are good. It's the middle I can't stand, and I wish that there was just more there, because honestly, the 10C was a good idea. It was a good story element, well executed. The reveal was good. I thought it was fantastic. I just wish it would have been, like I said, 3 episodes, maybe 4, and then move on to another story. Have 2 or 3 stories a season instead of 1. That's one of my biggest problems with new Trek. It's just dragged on, and I've used this analogy before. It's like a piece of chewing gum. It's good. You pull it. The ends in your fingers are good. The beginning and the end. It's like Picard season 2, but the middle gets all stringy and really thin. It's just fucking awful. So, would I rather watch? So, what do I think is worse?
Yes. Given there's not even a lot to talk about over 10 episodes.
The 10C stuff's a highlight, though. Which is more than any highlight in Section 31. However, Section 31 is only an hour and a half.
And the characters are funny. This is definitely not a funny season. A lot of the jokes definitely do not work. But Burnham's a lot better. Book is less good, but he's there.
Okay. I think I'd rather watch Section 31 than Season 4 of Discovery.
We finally got there!
Even with the 10C stuff.
Oh, wait, no, we didn't. Great. Wait, hold on. No, you said it each time. Yes. Yes, you said it each time. Yeah.
What do you mean? What?
You said you'd rather watch season 1, season 2, and season 3 of Discovery. So yeah, every time you
Yes.
said that. Yeah, okay, so it's the same. So yes, it's still.
No, I'd rather watch Section 31 than this season. That's what I'm saying. So I think this season's
okay.
worse than Section 31 for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go on record and say it, even though the 10 seems great.
Because if it's got 6 hours of boring. Yeah. 33 votes, guys. Vote in the poll. Guys, there's 71 of you in the poll, which means all of you have an app open with this going, which means all of you have access, even on a computer, even on a TV. I want to see 50 likes right now. Because come on, guys. There's 71 of you watching. Click like or dislike if you really want, but don't do that. Click like.
And also Matthew DeFreitas throws in $5. Discovery Season 4 was just so emotionally depressing and came out at a depressing time in society. It just made me so much more disinterested. Section 31 is better. Yeah. I didn't think I'd be saying that going into this because I do like the 10C idea. The scientist guy was all right, but it's so forgettable. It's just remarkable. And I remember being so bored during this season reviewing it.
Yeah, 5 isn't boring to review. This is boring to review. But also, it was the characters were better, the writing was better. All that stuff was better. And yet. And so, I think we said this at the time, and I'm pretty sure I did. They should have taken that page from Enterprise Season 4, have the 10C be half a season, then have another story. It's the same budget. Like, just do 2 different half-arc seasons. It can work. And then, it probably would have been a really good season if the second arc is good.
Yes.
Because there's no padding in 5 episodes when they have to kill Quajon and find the 10C and do the whole thing. And there's others, you can't really pad that. A little bit, of course. But that would have been... I don't know why they... Yeah.
I mean, Ozzy asked the question, will Captain Foley rather watch Season 2 of Picard than Section 31? I mean, you got some good stuff at the beginning and the end of Season 2 of Picard. Some Terry Metalis-inspired stuff. You also got Girardi in a red dress. So...
I hadn't even thought of doing Picard, because Picard is such a...
It's only 2 seasons we could talk about.
Yeah.
It'd be a much shorter life.
Because Season 2 is definitely worse than Section 31 as a piece of TV, but with a movie of great in it. Well, except the Girardi stuff. And Season 1 is just heartbreaking, but it's got some cool stuff.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have different opinions anyway on that, because
That's a tough call, Ozzy. I'm not quite sure. I'd probably watch Section 31 over Season 2 of Picard.
I think the writing in Season 4 of Discovery is better than Picard Season 2. And those filmed at the same time. I'm pretty sure it was better writing. So I can't really think of any good writing in Picard Season 2, which is not a good sign. Right, did I get more votes? I didn't get... Guys, are you all, like, far away from your screens? Do you not have... Everyone.
Well, you said hit like. You didn't say vote. The likes went up when you said it. So you fucked it up, Sam.
I did. Right, guys, there's 66 of you here. You're all next to a giant TV or a computer. Please just vote in the poll. We want to get 6 votes, so we have some more data, some more data know, all those many things. Let us know. Vote in the poll. There you go. We want to get at least 40 votes. There's so many of you here. You can do it really easily. And actually, a little side question in the chat right now. Did you watch Season 4? As in, if you didn't watch Season 4, let us know. A lot of people, like, they were getting people tuning in I'm sure the numbers of Discovery went down every year after Season 2. Right? I mean, they have to have, right? The social zeitgeist was going down every year, so I'm sure less people watched it. So did you just not watch Season 4? Let us know. And Scott Collins says, the more complaining you do, it's less likely as I make any new content at all. Okay. I'd rather have no bad content, wait for the people who are producing content to stop working on it, new crop of people to come in 10 years and do better content. Yeah, absolutely. It's like Cobra Kai, right? It was a dead franchise, better people came in, made a new phenomenon, and it's now spawning another movie after the failed Jackie Chan movie. Or Ghostbusters. A thing came out, it was terrible, went away, came back with a proper movie. So yes, absolutely. Like, you shouldn't encourage bad media. It just continues bad media. I'd rather have a 10-year break and then good media. Like, I'm not going to show my kids Section 31 out of interest. Like, I'll show them TNG and Voyager and DS9 and Enterprise, and I'm not going to show them. There's so little value in these other shows. They're just not even good TV, right? So, yeah, absolutely.
Some people watched, some people didn't. No, skipped out after season 2. Nope, didn't watch. But I also didn't watch Section 31, so no vote for me. Phoenix Gunna watched it. Clarence watched it. Storymaster watched it. Didn't watch season 5 though.
Okay.
43 votes now, so that's better.
Yes. Right, read the votes then.
Which is worse? Well, Section 31 wins it again. Section 31 is just killing it, winning all these polls with 75%.
And I can say that is now season 4 Discovery is less liked than season 3.
Yeah.
So people less like this is less than season 1, which is crazy because bad is worse than forgettable in my mind. But yeah.
And as we said at the time for season 4 of Discovery, that middle part that was so boring could have been filled in with rebuilding the Federation. They have warp back now. They could have gone back and been contacting planets that they hadn't talked to for a century or whatever. If they had been doing missions like that in the meantime, would have been much better. It would have buffered this up to the point where you remember, oh yeah, they reinitiated contact with Andor. They reinitiated contact with this. All you have to do is add little things in there to make it. You can stretch your story out to 10 episodes if you want, but don't make it so paper razor thin that it just is fucking annoying. Fill it with stuff.
I mean, as we had talked about at the time, imagine this, guys, and vote the new poll, please do. But imagine season 4 if it had been each episode with an overall arc. So episode 1 and 10 are this grand arc, right? But episodes 2 to 9, each episode would go to a new planet and bring them back in the Federation using either combat, politics, all the different tools in the toolbox. And because you got the Spore Drive, you can go to the Delta Quadrant and get the Vaudois or the Talaxians, like proper deep cut races. Bring the makeup people back, reference the canon, whatever, and have a briefing. You know, Captain Burnham, you're going back to the Vaudoiran homeworld. They're first to go by Voyager. Show clips. The Devore, and you show clips, and each one, you know, that would be incredible. And then you go to the Gamma Quadrant, you get a random Jem'Hadar race or whatever, like really, really engaging thing. And each race, each episode's a race we know. We get to learn about the culture, like we did in season 5 with the Captain guy. Exactly like that, right? Existent race, we learn stuff, cool, super, well done. All right, season 5. Now I know the answer, Stuart, but I'm not mad. It's completionism. Star Trek Discovery or season 5. Or section 31. Which one is worse and why? Before I bring the pictures in, because I actually have more pictures for season 5.
Section 31 is worse because at least this was the end, and we knew that. And we got Rainier, we got more Vance, we got some good character development for some of the bridge crew. We got Burnham being a good captain and actually a good character finally. There was a lot in season 5 that was enjoyable enough, and it definitely outshone season 4. So it was a big improvement, but still the stakes were so. The progenitors, it's such a great idea, and as we said going into it, I remember saying, no matter what they do, the build up to this is going to be better than the payoff, and that's exactly what happened. Because it's nothing you could pay off satisfactorily. You also got, not flashbacks, but you saw parts from the chase. You got Picard, you saw Picard on the screen, like talking about the progenitors, the race that created all the humanoid-like, you know, species in the galaxy. Great idea. Tie it into other Trek. Perfect. And Rainier's a standout. There are some boring moments, of course, because it's Discovery, but overall, it's a much more action-packed and better to watch season than the last season. So, still, yeah, that's absolutely Section 31 is worse, easily.
Vote in the poll. We want to get your finals. The final poll of this miniseries of all the different ones. I really want to know what you guys think. Yes, I would say season 5 is better than Section 31 as well. I think there's a lot less to like in Section 31. So here is the 12 things I could find that our problems people had, and we called them out. First of all was the pretty egregious use of the flamethrowers in the wall. Just it's a joke in the show. Like, they should have known, and people called it out because it became really obnoxious in season 5. The crash, people most had a problem with. 2 ships crashing, again, a common problem. And a lot of these things I was trying to remember because we reviewed it, but these aren't as memorable seasons. I remember the fight with Book and Burnham against the beings on the planet. There's a plot hole there that we called out that was like, that just doesn't make sense. I can't remember what it was, but there was something there.
Helldivers, the episode, yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but there was
a plot thing. There was something with was it with Dr. Culber?
No.
This is where he finds his peace, his usefulness.
Yeah. It was something to do with teleporting, like they teleport but they don't, and they could have, and something that was like a plot problem.
Yeah.
That was more of an us thing, but I wanted to include it because I remember, after season 4 and I found nothing, I wanted to find a few more things to talk about, right? The fact that they found the Trekyards Enterprise, fine, and they left at warp 3, 2 people alone, traveling for months, if not, years. It's the Federation, so years.
Bye, Dat Marina Washington. We loved you. Not really. One of you, we did.
Especially as near the end of the season, they spore out a ship that's the size of a Borg cube, which means they could totally spawn jump. That was a common problem.
Yeah.
Next after that is the episode where Burnham goes to planet. The fact that she's again always the one doing stuff, just obnoxious. At least she brought Tilly, but it's just obnoxious, right? Then in that same episode, and this was a common complaint, Tilly's dumb as hell. She doesn't turn off a fire in a room running out of air. Again, obvious plot hole that's just like the scene is broken as soon as you play it, and it just makes the whole episode feel worse because she's the smart one in theory, and she doesn't do that, and that's the whole point of the scene. Giant insanity. I've combined here, but the Badlands being wrong. Both people didn't care, but it's wrong. And then, of course, the Breen ship firing, them sporing out, and the idea they can't track them, even though they tracked them previously. Plot hole, and then doesn't make sense. Just, they didn't. Of course the Breen are going to track them. If they destroyed them, they're going to do a scan, and of course they would. Okay. The padding in the last episode in the walkway, it's just a bit padded. The fight with the Breens unnecessary, the fight with her is unnecessary. Like, just a lot of padding that wasn't particularly good. It's just not a well-paced bit. The insanely simple sliding triangle piece that is the ultimate puzzle that opens the door and it's the easiest thing in the world. No one liked that.
In the galaxy, Sam.
Yeah.
In the galaxy.
Or in the universe, possibly. Multiverse, even. Yeah, no one liked that. The idea they could spore jump the Breen ship, which breaks the entire... Like, oh, now you know you can do that. That's an unlimited power set. Like, it was cool, but it broke the universe. And then put the end, because lol. Old Discovery, because we have to fix our own plot hole. We have to make the Discovery old and send it out. For no reason except we've made our own plot hole, we've got to fix it. So, not a lot here, but a few things that people have problems with. And a few like, well, that's just dumb. That's just dumb. But, less, but also more than last season.
Sardonic Spartan said one is a TV show, the other is a movie. Yeah, but the movie was...
Wait. It was a movie? Oh, I thought we reviewed a TV show week by week on a streaming service. Oh, shit. Was that a movie? Oh, I didn't know that. Wow, that was dickish of me to say. Dude, we know. We reviewed it for hours. What are you on about? We know.
And you can compare them.
Yeah, they're both media.
It's supposed to be a season of a show.
Yeah, but I mean, anything's comparable. A video game's comparable. Like, characters comparable. Everything's comparable in their own way. Yeah, of course. So yeah, what do you think of these things I'm throwing out? So it was, again, hard to find stuff, which is good for them. but a few notable things.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, there's so much more going on this season than last season, so of course you're going to have some misses, obviously. But
although 4 in the last episode.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
But isn't that kind of good though? These aren't really that annoying things. I mean, the air thing is dumb because Tilly's smart, and the S31 Enterprise warping out is just illogical beyond belief. Just put a line saying they were picked up, but then you can't travel the ship with the ship, so it's irrelevant.
Yeah. I mean, for better or worse, we learned more about the Breen. But that was good or not. Locke and Maul were pretty good. Yeah, there's a lot more good in this. So even though there's more bad than the last season was forgettable, and that was the problem. So, yeah, and in response to your question that you haven't asked yet, yeah, Section 31 is much worse than this season.
Yep, I would.
This season got to the point where it's like, I kind of wish there was another season after this because they're learning. Introducing Rainier was great. Would have loved to see more of his character. The fact that he got to know the bridge crew and we got more of Bryce. Was it Bryce or Reese? Reese.
Who we met, and it was funny talking.
Yeah, with him earlier in the season saying, I'm a Connie guy. And when we talked to him in person in Vegas, I was thinking of the TOS Connie. Absolutely. But he would have been a good choice to have put on the ISS Enterprise with a small team instead of just sending the 2 people you wanted to get rid of. Because he loves the Connie. It would have made sense. But he had to play a major role in this as captain of the Discovery at the end, or acting captain. So at least we got to learn more about, there's a lot of good that came out of this season. And if this had been season 3 or 4,
or 1, Jesus, can you imagine going out swinging, the progenitors, TNG reference, oh wow,
yeah,
big. I mean, obviously not the ending, of course, but that'd be a hell of a swing for season 1. God damn.
Yeah, Section 31 is much worse than this.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the new captain was excellent. He was really good. Vance was good. The Admiral was. The President was good. Burnham was pretty good this season. Her love arc with Book wasn't bad at all. He was less good, but still. I mean, it was maybe written out and he continued. It's fine. Progenitors stuff was at least some well paced. The Book episode with her in the library is decent. The Stranger World episode is decent. Good to see the sets. We both like the first. I'm still pissed off they killed the data guy. He was excellent. Fred, yeah, he was great. It still annoys me. The Breen were pretty cool. Good armor. I mean, pretty cool. Not amazing, but pretty damn cool. Yeah. It was a I still prefer season 3 because it did, I think, more interesting things. But this is the most consistent season of Discovery in terms of consistent quality. Yeah. I suppose, is without saying it.
I would prefer this season to season 3 personally, but that's me.
This is a more boring season between season 3. But that's because season 3 has 2 parts and it has a really satisfying middle, and then it has an end and a start, right? This is a yeah.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying.
I agree. Yeah. Hashtag Fred.
Let's see what the poll is at here.
Vote now.
34 votes. Get another 6 votes on the poll. We have 62 of you here. Should be no problem. 85 likes as well.
Vote.
Let's see how close we can get to 100 likes. And also go vote. We'd like to get at least 40 votes.
We've done it 4 times already, guys. Keep voting.
Yeah.
It is that easy. Do it. Do it now.
Actually, I only realized that the Admiral from Discovery was the guy from The Money. He figured it out last year. Yeah. Great actor. He's really good in both roles. So.
Yeah, he's a lovely standout. And I'm annoyed he's not done a convention that I can go to. Because I'd like
Bill
to.
Says, was this the season where they got the new comm badges that they were trying to figure out, transport themselves?
Nope.
No.
Season 3.
Yep. Built-in tricorder and transporter, which they've never explained how it knew where it wanted to transport you because it's been connected to their mind.
Yeah, that's fine. Just use the brain. It's fine. It's fine. Dear me. But, you know, this is such
38 votes now. 30. Oh, 38. 2 more votes, guys. Come on. Do it.
I'll say it's such an experience. This, because when the hell do you ever do this, right? You know, what have you learned from this? Because it's such an experience to like go in and break it down and think out this way. You know, what have you learned? What are you learning? You know, it's interesting.
I'm learning that the people that made Discovery, after they kind of got more stable, realized that the fans are the people to listen to, and they just started course correcting. Yep.
Thine course be correcting. Yeah. Yeah.
You're not. F to all the transporter chiefs who lost their jobs due to combat AI. Yeah.
Fair.
Why Destroyer 3466 says rather watch Star Trek 5 Marshmallows. Yeah, I'd rather watch Star Trek 5 than this as well.
Yeah, but those are, I mean, if you go back, then those are so impossible allegories because they are the original casts who we like. So just seeing them is a joy. Just because we're in on those people, right? So even their bad scenes are still real scenes with them. Cybok is excellent. The Enterprise refit is great. The sets are nice. The Klingons are excellent. Like, yes, the story's not great. Yes, the action's not great. Yeah, but it's still the core of what you want to see, just not in the best package. But it's the core of what you want to see. And that's the most important thing, right?
Yeah.
And yes, of course, they go across the galaxy in a day, and that can't be explained. And it's funny because they could have easily have said, you know, God sped us up. Okay, sure. I guess. Weird, but I guess it's an explanation, right? Because he wouldn't want to wait 400 years to meet them.
Yeah, he sent the information to ramp up the speed of their ship via Cybok, and Cybok like gave them the calculations.
Yeah. And if you're going future canon, of course, you could have him tell them where a wormhole was. Right?
Perfect. Yeah, it's even better.
Yeah, I mean, it's really super easy. There's almost no inconvenience. I mean, yeah, it's the movie is very, very easily fixable. You know, its issues are very like one-lineable, or fix in post with some CG of the turbolift. Like they're like lots of little fixes, and like the space effects, just do them fresh. It's fine. There's not that many. Do them again. And guys, any more super chat thoughts, comments, questions? I'd love to get another 2 super chats. Would be tremendous. And poll another 5 votes, but I think we can close it out very, very soon. Really interesting. Really interesting. The poll. Really interesting.
Rusty Knuckle Iron Gut says, if you tell me an apple has a good core, but the rest is iffy, I will turn it down. Good core is not enough. You'd have to cut away all the bad parts to get to the good part.
Okay, Star Trek 5 is bad then. Okay, I guess.
I disagree.
That's what the person said. But then it makes things like Discovery worse, because there isn't even a good core, right? Season 1 has no good core and no good outside, so then you didn't watch... You know what I mean? Like it hasn't even got the core in place.
You got Chris C with £5. So thank you so much. Hi, lads. If you were in charge at Paramount, what would be your first change, apart from firing Kurtzman, to revigorate the Star Trek franchise?
Vote in the poll.
We talked about this. Yes, vote in the poll. We talked about this yesterday. First of all, yes, getting rid of Kurtzman, absolutely a must. Sam had a good idea. Use the standing sets at Ticonderoga to film like a 5 or 6 part miniseries, totally in the realm of TOS. Modern filming techniques can make that set look fantastic. It is the complete filming set, so you can do pretty much anything. And yeah, have a really engaging mini series story in a TOS environment. Not the Enterprise, just have it be another ship. Create new great characters and just have visual correct canon TOS on screen. That's one of the first things that we would do. Yeah. How about you? You're looking at me like you wanted me to ask you what you would do.
No, I knew you were going. I was just letting you. I was thinking while you were. If you say, so if I was in charge tomorrow, and this is me being serious, what I would do is I would start I guess I have to let everything be finished. It's already in production, so I'm assuming that's all done. Like what fresh slate? What would I do? I would take, let's say, 25 million, and I would build a team of Trek alumni to build a TOS web series on the standing sets and get that in production to release the same year, because you could very easily. At the same time as that, I would have feelers out and I'd get contracts ready to commission the remastering of Voyager Season 1 and DS9 Season 1, but I would put them both on Paramount, or I'd put them on Amazon and all these things at a premium pre-order price. So it was... Yep.
You want to know an interesting fact?
Yep.
The money they spent on Section 31 would have remastered 14 seasons of Star Trek. So they could have done all of DS9 and Voyager with the money they spent on Section 31. Let that sink in for a second.
And I think they'd said, I think they could have made 6 seasons of Lower Decks, or 9 seasons.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's thinking as well. Yeah, so I would have a, because people saying Star Trek's not doing so well. I would have pre-orders of the Blu-ray, the Blu-ray, DVD, and streaming. Each one I would actively have at a higher price than you'd normally pay, say £50. And I'd have Kate Mulgrew in uniform do the trailer for this, and maybe like Jake Sisko or Kyle Mean, like put them in full uniform to make it look really fancy, right? I'd have them do a trailer saying, "Hey, this is Kate Mulgrew, Captain Janeway, and we need the audience to support Star Trek again. If you pre-order, we're gonna make remaster season 1, but you need to pre-order to show there's interest in this season. So the sales of season 1 of DS9 Voyager will determine how much we make. Pre-order them now, buy the Blu-ray, whatever." And that would and because you really excited people with, wow, fucking Cole Meany in uniform for the first time in 30 years, he looks great, really a great trailer, in full green screen, full CGI background, LED wall, right? Like, almost a shot from the show. Perfect. And then that would get huge pre-orders, or fail, right? Could do. But I would assume huge pre-orders because, and you'd fund you'd fund the season by the pre-orders. And then you do that for each season. So it's always paying for itself, right? And say pre-orders equal whatever. But with that pre-order, you'd also have the TOS web series come out. So you'd have something new as well. It was entirely unexpected. So there you have Voyager, you have Cole Meany, you have a TOS show, all come out at the same time, really excite fans with old stuff, and sort of present it a new way. And that'd be my that'd be the first 6 months, because you could do all that in 6 months, right? Like really zazz. Yeah, step on it, exactly.
For me, step 2 would be to announce a Lower Decks movie, and then also get Prodigy back. Prodigy Returns Season 3. I mean, start a video game of some sort. Another Resurgence video game by the same people. There's a lot of things that I'd want to do, yeah.
What do you think about my idea about having a like money away mouth is it a bit?
I wouldn't want to buy a $50 Blu-ray for one season. I'd want to wait till all the seasons are remastered and get the complete box set.
And then that'd be the reason it would fail, because fans aren't supporting it. That's
not fair.
You wouldn't have to do that, is what I'm saying. There's other ways to go about it. But I'm saying that. But then if the interest was there to fund it, then you could tell the higher ups. It's like, yeah, obviously we'll do them all. It's basically it's crowdfunding it, right? And if this would also be designed to be like, it would fit in the same, like it wouldn't be a standalone Blu-ray. It would be designed to be in a case at the end, right? So it would just build in the collection one at a time.
If you had the first season and then the miniseries TOS on it, that would be something I would buy.
Well, I'd do them separately. DVD, Voyager and DS9, so there'd be separate packages.
Yeah, but the season 1 of TOS, the miniseries could be on both. Whatever.
Sure.
You need some kind of bonus thing to buy one fucking season for $50.
No, you do new special features, right? You do a whole new, like, you do the full remaster process. You'd include all the old versions. Like, yeah, you'd make them proper like collector box sets, and then they all go in a slipcase. So you have all 5 seasons, all 7 seasons in a like. So you'd be building up the collection, right? They'd all fit together.
I wouldn't want to do that. I'd rather wait till they're all done and then get it. That's how I would think. But anyway,
yeah.
I'd also make sure that Strange New Worlds going into its final season comes out looking like TOS. I would make some changes there, so that would, at least that would sort of kind of make sense, even though that absolutely doesn't make any sense. But that's fine.
You have the scene from the first season of Enterprise where they introduce the phase pistols and it's amazing. You introduce the TOS phasers and it's amazing. Wow, the new phasers are out. Oh, they're so. I love them. Right? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a whole other live topic to talk about, but
it is.
All right, well, let's end this poll. We have 51 votes, which is fantastic. Which is worse? Section 31 yet again wins. Section 31 for the win on another poll, 71%. That's the worst. And Discovery Season 5 is 29%. So,
which is the least well-reviewed season of Discovery. So more people dislike Season 5 than Season 4, than Season 3, than Season 2, Season 1. That is shocking to me, given how bad Season 1 is.
Yeah.
Wow. Fascinating. I think I learned something there by itself.
Well,
goodness.
I guess that's it, guys. Thank you.
Hey, yeah,
it's been fun.
Have you enjoyed this week of specials? It's been a very interesting week.
I mean, it's been interesting. Yeah. What do you guys think? Anyway, yeah, 95 likes, which is pretty good. We're almost at 100, so if you haven't hit like yet, please hit like to get to 100. Would be amazing. But yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll call it there. Thank you guys for watching all this week. Tune in for the weekend and, of course, other content tomorrow. Always cool stuff coming out of Trekyards. And we'll be back next week with some more lives.
Well,
so
hopefully we've finished our live spin on Section 1. We have five lives. 5 and your first reaction. 6 lives of content. So I think we've done it justice. You're welcome, Section 31. You've determined you're worse than every other season of Star Trek according to the audience.
And every other movie, but that's fine.
That's fine.
We covered you as much as we could.
Yes. TOS phases. Woo!
All right. Well, on that note, thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend, and we will see you soon. Until then, he is Commander Calkins.
He's Captain Foley.